Good evening and welcome to the Obelisk. Tonight's guest is, you love her, you hate her, Suzanne Potter-Thomas. It's our monthly update with Suzanne. She's a friend of the show, an in-depth researcher. Suzanne brings her unique perspective to almost any subject. We also have a special lurker guest who may or may not speak up, and you'll know who it is when this person speaks. So just FYI, don't be scared.
This is Old Home Week.
Be not afraid, children.
This is Old Home Week, and we love it. And the special guest is a special guest that many, many people love. So.
Yes.
Me love this person a long time. Anyway, Suzanne, welcome to the show. So glad to have you back.
Thanks.
Hi
guys.
Suzanne. I was so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. This just is like happiness.
What was your idea? What are you talking about?
I know, but I didn't know. I never know, Jerry, until I come to show up who's playing bass. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know.
It's just like, it's so good. And hi, Jer, and hi, our special guest I've already said hello to. All right, here we are. Another week. Can you believe we're in April, y'all?
No.
Oh, my God.
No, not at all.
What in the hell is going on? I can't believe we're in 4 months into 2021.
Pretty soon it's going to be December, and we're going to be saying the same thing we said last December. Can you fucking believe this year's gone by already?
But I'm sorry, but it is going that fast.
It is. It's amazing.
Well, you guys do know that the Earth is speeding up, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that last night.
Well, Ben Davidson's been posting the data. The Earth
I know. I do love Ben.
Sped up. I want to say 100. I mean, okay, granted, it's tiny. 151 milliseconds for the year. But still, that's a shorter day.
Yeah.
Well, whatever is going on, maybe there's an accumulation of other things, or because everything is so surreal. Also, it's just like one thing after another. And the time is just looping fast because of this constant barrage of mostly bullshit.
And I want to bring up two correlation points here that I know of. Ben Davidson, and for those of you who don't know, that's a Suspicious Observers YouTube channel. He's been doing a series on catastrophism for the last 8-9 months, maybe longer, where he's lining up his theory that the extinction cycles that happen to us, right, are solar generated, and they're caused by micronovas, not a giant solar flare, not a sun explosion thing, but the sun builds up energy around itself, and then at some point it sheds that energy, and it's triggered by like magnetic interaction with the galactic current sheet and the solar system's current sheet, because the sun puts out like a flat current of magnetism, right? And we oscillate through this thing. So there are times when we're oscillating through it and crossing it, and then like when the galaxy itself has the same similar thing, when those things cross, it causes a surge of energy. Boom! It pops. Right? And that is a 10,000 foot view. So. Please check out his channel. I will actually link it in the description after this so everyone can find it. But anyway,
Ben is awesome.
Ben is
his
awesome.
work, yeah, his work.
That sounds feasible to me,
okay,
actually.
so this is my point. I wanted to give some background on it. So we are due for this to happen. And this coincides also with magnetic flip of Earth, which is also something that's due for our poles to reverse. So it could be those two things to cause the next extinction level event. It's definitely going to happen probably in the next 100 years. So with that, that's just, as this energy builds up on the sun, there's more output, i.e. more cosmic rays, making people crazy. Just getting back to the original point, I kind of drifted on this one. I'm sorry. So that's one correlation point. The second one is Cliff High talking about energy from space. He's been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I know Cliff High probably follows Ben. And he may just be reinforcing it. But he also said this stuff came out in the WebBot data like 5 years ago. So anyway, two correlation points towards...
I'm enjoying Cliff's woo stuff, Planet Woo.
Me too.
Very much. It's like Cliff's back on. You know, it's waves with Cliff, and this is a wave to ride.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who's Ramona?
I love Ramona. Ramona's been around for a long time.
Hello, Ramona. Give us some shout outs here. Got Keats Ross in chat tonight.
Keats,
Persian Scribe.
Yes.
Rivers. JJ.
Rivers. Oh my God.
Grimstake.
Oh my God.
Dr. Strangelove. Who else did I see here? Doc Michael was in for a brief second. Myra Alexander.
Oh, nice.
Myra's there. I love Myra too. I
Bob
love all
Myra.
these people.
Exactly. Is here too. Hello. Thank you. Welcome.
Nice.
Thanks for coming. There really are no prizes. That was a lie. Actually,
but thank you everyone for being here. You're all fucking fabulous.
The funny thing is that I have a giant fucking prize box. So last year, when was it? Was it last year? It was 2 years ago. Jesus. Speaking of time flies. So 2 years ago, I got one. Somehow got into a brushing scam, what Amazon calls a brushing scam, where you get shit you didn't order from Amazon.
That's what that was?
Yeah. So what it is, and it was all cheap Chinese shit too.
Yeah.
And the deal is that these Chinese knockoff companies will somehow get your address and then order stuff that they pay for so they can create a good review for it.
Oh.
So it's usually newer products and they're trinkets, it probably costs them more to ship than to make.
Yeah.
So my point is I got like 30 of those packages. They're all like iPad covers, iPhone covers, styluses for writing on your screen or instead of touching your screen. I think there's a bunch of lightning cables, stuff like that. So I do have a prize box, but there's no real good way to like dish it. If you want to send me your address, I will send you a prize.
Oh, nice.
You can DM me on Discord. How's that? If you want a prize, you can have one.
Jerry, just to sweeten the deal, not one but two, and also signed.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
And we'll
With
include
a sticker.
Well, yeah, I got stickers. I got magnet. I'll send you a Nox Mente magnet. I'll send you anything. Just send me your address. I'm cool like that.
Just when you think we're all fresh out of rabbits, Jerry produces another hat.
Our special lurker has emerged.
Hey, everybody.
Everyone, Adam Tarsus has joined us.
Yay, Adam.
I was going to say, time speeds up when we're existing in a state of trauma. I think collectively over the last couple of years, culturally and globally, we've experienced an incredible amount of trauma as a species. And I think that the wave of that is the undercurrent that's carrying us forward with that intense frequency and vibration of catastrophe. So I think it's just ever present. And so we're constantly in a state of survival, constantly in a state of fight or flight, constantly at a state of war. And I think that's taking a toll on us. Just collectively, our collective unconscious is in a state of desperation, I think, as a species, as a people.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
Oh, I definitely, this is a mass trauma event for sure. And I
All
mean,
psyops are mass trauma events.
yes, absolutely. And so even just getting past the idea of that for some people that they may think this is woo, it doesn't matter because the effects of it, whether it's real or perceived, are trauma. People are being forced to do things they don't want to do, and losing and being uber controlled and afraid to interact with each other. And so it doesn't matter what the origin story is there, that the effect is happening. And that's what we're seeing.
The
Of
effect is
trauma.
Agreed.
sad. Yeah, I totally agree. Have you seen all these people fighting, saying they won't let their family members or their friends come in their house if they're not vaccinated now? Like
Yes.
it's getting insane.
Well, I've been seeing also there's a divide happening. I've been seeing some stuff. I think JJ had sent me something where a gym, I don't know where, said they won't let people that have had the jab come in because of the prions. Well, because it's they don't know what it is, and it could put their clients and them in danger, so they're not welcome in the gym if they've had the jab.
Wow.
And there's a divide happening here.
Yeah.
So I think for everyone that thinks it's going to go one way, I don't know. I'm hedging my bet on this because I think the people that are not having it are huge in number, and I'm thinking at least 50-50 here. And then there are people on the fence going, wait a minute, what is all this, that would just normally get like a flu jab and all this, going, this just doesn't seem right. And there's a lot of those people.
Yeah.
But Adam, you deal with people with PTSD and all that. Has this changed with, at least you did. I don't know if you still are, but
Still
have you
do.
seen any uptick or like common threads from people you're on the lines with?
I mass controversy is a huge thing with a lot of my therapy groups right now, because a lot of my clients that have PTSD cannot do the mask. Several of them, it makes them claustrophobic to the point of being triggering.
Yeah.
So when I have a lot of them that are living in communities where there are a lot of strict mask mandates and things like that. So there's been a lot of that kind of discussion, and there's been a lot of that kind of backlash. I will say that I've been in and out of contact with roughly 40 or so other nursing and healthcare professionals just in the last couple of months, and nobody that I have talked to is interested in receiving the vaccination or plans on getting the vaccination. A couple of people I know are saying that their company might require it, and they're already looking for other employment. So
I think there's going to be a divide. So I think where we'll see a lot of the entities, the corporate entities, saying, no, you won't get our services, including the entities that are well-known fast food venues and some that aren't fast food, like the Olive Gardens and all that. But that they're big, huge corporate, Anytown, Anywhere, USA kind of places. They're all obviously pushing and in favor of all of this because they're included in the paperwork, right? They're included in the pyramid scheme. And then at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are like, all right, well, we're not having it. And if you're en masse, I'm talking like half the population, if all of you are shutting down business to us, I think that this could bring forward, it has the potential at least to bring forward this new experience for people that are not having it. So local mom and pop shops that aren't having it, local this and that, and that will just coexist in some way. I don't know friendly and I don't know timelines, but there are too many people that aren't willing to have it. And making it a mandate is going, it's for people that aren't having it.
It's not
I'm
going to be,
having
it'll
it.
never be a mandate. Not here.
I mean, it's like literally jab my dead body, because that's the only way you're going to get access.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and it'll never be mandated. It'll just be enforced financially.
Well, it's
Yeah.
enforced right now in places where if you don't get it, you're not going to get these services.
Well,
And that's what I'm
that's
talking about.
But that's actually illegal because it's not an approved, FDA-approved vaccine. It's an experimental.
It might be illegal, Jerry, but it's happening. A lot of illegal stuff's happening.
Unfortunately, no one has the money to pay for a lawyer to go after these scumbags.
Yeah.
But that's beyond the point. And falling back on saying it's illegal or it's not illegal is still in a way playing into the system. I'm talking about breakout situation. When someone in perceived power with their perceived with that suit on or that coat on is saying this is the way it is, and a lot of people fall in line, then they've created a situation where these people that fell in line and are following this are snitching on everyone else, and now they're not offering services to people. Then we have a situation where whether it's legal or not, it's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it shouldn't be legal. It shouldn't be legal, and apparently it's not. But boy, tell this to some of these cities that aren't allowing you to get on the bus and do stuff. It's crazy.
Have you noticed the uptick in the fear porn about new waves and new variants and all
We
this
have
nonsense?
a double mutant variant here in California.
mutant.
It's very Saturday night double feature, if you ask me.
So
But wait, there's more.
I think it was
Yes,
that guy.
exactly, and for only a small fee.
Right.
I think last night.
Side effects are death.
The
Last
ghost
night-
of Billy
sorry.
Mays will be here to sell it to you in just a moment, folks.
But wait, there's more. I think it was that guy last night on Cruising Mistake said something after we were talking about this double variant, and he goes, "It's a double secret variant."
Yes,
Oh
that's
my
right.
God.
Like double secret probation.
Yes.
Yeah. Good times. And don't forget, everyone, we
Oh.
do have merchandise store with really cool masks.
That's great.
You
It's
can get yourself a Tiny Green Sven mask.
Oh, that's the kind of mask I'd wear. Tiny Green Sven.
Yeah.
Because,
I
you
saw
know, you
somebody
have to
wearing-
wear them.
I saw someone wearing one the other day that says, "Look, shut up, bring up my groceries, or eat a bag of dicks."
Mm.
Oh, I like that.
I bought one that says Einstein or Epstein didn't kill himself, but I've never worn it.
I do enjoy the masks that some people are wearing for some of that kind of stuff. They tickle me.
I've seen some very funny ones.
Yeah, they tickle me. Everywhere I go, it's funny because people are just like, should I, shouldn't I? Like out here where I am, it's you don't know until people walk up like how stringent they are.
Oh, you will be perceived.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, you just don't know. And some people are like, oh, thank God. You know, and other people are like, oh my God, back up and get a mask on. And so I just go, I'm like when in Rome. This is not a battle I'm trying to fight. What I
No,
keep
me too.
saying is there's a real science to masking, and this ain't it, baby.
Right. And what about these freaking worms people are finding? What's this shit?
Wait.
Wait,
I don't think that's real.
No, it is real. I got my hands on one of those.
I was going to ask you if you've looked into that.
I got my hands on one. I see. Okay, so this gets into my personal life, and I don't want to talk about this on air, but I was able to get one of those from a government organization that someone I'm associated with had to do. So it was like a jury service. Okay. And, the day that happened and it came back to me for observation is a day like one of those videos went viral on those. And so I was like, holy shit, I have one in my hands. Well, not in my hands, but I have one in my possession. And I went and I have a really powerful jeweler's loop with light and everything in it. And sure enough, I am telling you, as I'm holding my hands up, child, where's the Bible? Where's the good book? And 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 it had movable black wormy things in it. So it's not fake, it's real. They're movable. They were moving around. Now I don't have an explanation. I am not a scientist. Maybe there are magnetics around. I don't know. But what I do know is my face was that close to the fiber that it freaked me out, because if you know jeweler's loop, your face is basically like, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Something.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
It's real, and we know Morgellons, because that's what I'm assuming that is a Morgellons fiber. We know that's real. It's come out of the land of Wu, and so that's what I read it as, and I still have it. I put it in tinfoil and in a plastic bag and outside in the garage.
Oh, good.
But I want to make sure I still have it. I mean, I still have it.
So which masks are infected?
Foil. That way it can't signal anyone.
Well, Adam, I love you. So
I'm sorry. Exactly. I have to have a sense of humor about this stuff because my life has just been a bag of shit. So
I was like telling that fiber, I'm like, no ground control to Major Tom.
Right? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bitch, you're going into some tinfoil. We're schooling this.
I read a story today about this company that's bringing out these nanobots that will clean masks while you're wearing it. They live in the mask.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, that's scary.
What could possibly go wrong?
The mask, and also I want to say, so I didn't see that in the standard like N95 masks that I had for painting and stuff. I had these were very specific, and I knew this is a very specific mask you get when you're going into, I think they make you wear them in the hospital now. And they're not
great.
They're not the ones that with the blue background. This is a very specific one. So when I saw that one video, I'm like, I have that exact mask. And it's the official ones they make you wear at courthouses and the legal system, and they hand out. So no matter what you have, they give it to you and they make you wear it. And I don't know what its name is, but it's not the ones with the blue that everyone thinks of, right? It's not that. It's all white. And it's got lettering on that, and I could look, but it was exactly the one in the video. I saw there were several videos, but the first video I saw. So it's the one I saw is a very specific kind of mask.
Okay.
Just, I want clarity on that, because those N95 blue ones that are everywhere, that wasn't this.
Okay.
So
well, that's good.
This came from a courthouse. Hello.
It's crazy. No, sorry, there's just noise in my house. I was going to mute for a second.
We got to see how long we can have silence, like on Christmas Day. I can't find this story about the nano thing. So anyway,
one Adam was talking about,
no,
the mask cleaning.
Yeah, the one I was talking about.
Oh,
that just sounds very creepy.
It's
also creepy. Oh, here's a tidbit for you also. JJ also brought this to my table, but I wanted to get this out. Is that, and so we don't know, JJ's asked around and all this, but someone said once they got the Pfizer shot, I believe, that one of the, you get your shot, Adam, you know this because you work in the field, but you get your shot and they usually say like, don't eat sugar or don't run a marathon or whatever you need to not do once you get a shot for a couple days. Well, this one with the Pfizer shot, they said avoid magnets for 2 weeks. And so I that's all I know, but I found that very interesting information, because if we think about nanotech,
Yeah, what's it gonna do? Demagnetize the nano?
Right, scramble it because
Scramble it, yeah.
they're self-assembling, right? They
Mhm.
get in and they self-assemble.
Yep.
There's some sort of metal content with them, and they're also, some of them are self replicating, and it's made sense to JJ and I that magnets would scramble them or mess in the, until they're all up and running in your DNA. It could actually disable them in a way. I mean, we were
Mhm.
running with this, but I don't know. It was a juicy tidbit. And for
Cause a
people that,
catastrophic malfunction. And,
if you don't have
something
any
unforeseen could
option,
happen.
right? But I mean, there's prions in the Pfizer one.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's terrible. And if there's a shot in the dark, and it's by having magnets around you, or pull out your new age hat and get some magnets on,
There you go.
right? If there's
Well, they're
a
telling
shot
women
in the
not to get
dark.
mammograms. They're saying that it's the mammograms are misreading or something. It's causing misreadings in the mammograms.
See, this
So
is what
how's
interests
that?
me. This is what
Or they
interests-
just don't want people around magnets.
right. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Or radiation to kill off something. If there's a shot in the dark for people that have no choice but to get it, and otherwise their whole livelihood is taken away, and there are a lot of those people.
Yeah, there are.
I feel so bad for them. But if there's a shot in the dark, why not take that?
No pun intended.
Right.
Yeah.
So get some magnets, people. I mean, I'm just, if you're concerned about it and you're faced with the choice that it's your livelihood or the jab.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Hello.
Hello.
So I wanted to talk about some crazy. There was lots of crazies going on, but this one was my favorite for last month. Was the and someone brought it up in chat too. The Disney reopened in California, but you can't scream on the roller coasters anymore.
Yes. How are they going to prevent that?
They can't, but people will obey. That's the point.
It's true.
But
And they all have to be masked up, right?
Right.
Have to wear a mask. And
it was funny. I was reading through my Twitter timeline today, and if I didn't read where the article was from and just read the headline, I could hardly tell what was Babylon Bee and what was not. And I'm not kidding. I mean,
that's terrifying.
It is. I will read you some of these headlines, and you'll be like, "Oh my god." So this one: Zoom zombies are zoning out behind the wheel after video calls. Auto safety experts warn.
Goodness.
that one.
Is it true or is it Babylon Bee? It's true.
Because it could have been the other one too, man. Oh my god.
It totally could have been Babylon.
I mean,
this is terrible.
I know. I mean, these aren't obvious. Some of these are obvious. Like finding from particle research could rewrite known laws of physics. The CDC relaxed its rules on cleaning to prevent COVID-19, saying intense disinfectants are likely doing us more harm than good. These are all real so far.
Oh god. I no longer have hope for mankind. We're fucking doomed.
I haven't been cleaning this whole time. I'm so lazy that I won't wipe a fucking thing down other than my hands. I wash my hands when I come home.
All right, so this is a Babylon Bee one. Dr. Fauci predicts at least 3 more COVID variants may be required to completely break America's spirit.
And it's sad, but that really sounds like something you would fucking say.
I know.
I had to check to see if it was real. I thought it was.
WHO does not.
Oh my god.
WHO does not back vaccination passports for now.
Lord.
The CDC says vaccinated people can now punch unvaccinated people in the face.
Oh.
Well, that's just completely reasonable.
I know.
I long to punch
this one was
vaccinated people in the face.
Kamala Harris cackles as migrant children ask for more soup.
Well, that's
Oh my
probably
God.
true.
Well, she did cackle when they asked her if she was going to go
She
to the
cackles
board.
all the time. She's a cackling person. Anyway, you get the point. It's like the two are blending together. It's creepy as fuck.
Wow.
Reality is so twisted right now.
Well, what basis are we? What are we basing reality on at this?
On the MSM, on Twitter. That
Well,
Twitter
and
reality
It's,
is so
what's
twisted
really
right now.
what's really apparent to me is that there is a reality that people believe in that they only get from their television.
Right, and then
Yeah.
in line with everything that's been exposed, with like how easy it is to mimic anything and anyone.
Right. Digitally.
Where is the real line? Yeah, digitally, online, not in
Yeah.
person. Although they are working on that's the whole augmented reality where it affects you in your daily life. Where you'll be they're using it in parts of Asia now, you know, where you're walking down the street, and they've been using it a long time. Those the headlight things where you cross the crosswalk,
The
and
street light.
Wait.
they
Sorry.
have ads that you pass by a store, and they have ads that run, and in your head it feels like it's in your head. It does feel like
the bone induction. Yes. That
yeah,
was in New York.
and it crossed, and we'll have them all over, but you know, in all the big major metropolises with crosswalks and all this. But then they have now greeter robots that are actually holograms, and then you have real greeter robots, and
It makes me.
augmented reality.
It's like
is
Minority
here.
Report.
I was just gonna say it makes me think of Minority Report, where he's walking through and it's scanning him, and it's all the personalized ads
Yes.
for everything.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
it's like if Google was following you down the street and was embedded in your eyeballs.
I just want to point
And
out
it is.
once again the prescience of Philip K. Dick. Minority Report
Yep.
Oh,
was a Philip K. Dick story that was adapted to the big screen. And almost everything in that movie we're on a trajectory towards.
he was
Yeah.
getting them real downloads. There's some true.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of one.
Yep.
I can't think of one Philip K. Dick story. Blade Runner, maybe. But even still, that could happen.
No,
But
we're
I'm
on
saying-
par with the Blade Runner. Totally.
I'm just thinking, I can't think of one that doesn't resonate lately and that doesn't say to me, oh, that could never happen. You know,
Right.
so that's,
This is where we are.
yeah.
Well, that just goes into the whole thing we talked about last show about manifestation. And are we manifesting the things for these people?
Well, yeah, I brought this up before that I think that is okay, so there's this narrative, and I know you know about it, that, you know, the controllers, whether they're human or non-human, lack the skill lack the ability to create anything, so they have to be parasitical. And if they wanted things created for them, what better way to do it than through entertainment media?
Absolutely.
If we actually manifest things. So if you pump people full enough of enjoyable entertainment that they really, you know, emotionally open up to, that will become part of their reality because they've experienced it, which means it'll be in the collective consciousness. And I think, you know, once one of those sub bubbles in the collective gets big enough, it happens.
Ooh, yeah.
So yes, media has a lot to do with this, and not that it's good or bad, it's just being misused, or benefit of the doubt, they don't realize what they're doing. They're just trying to make money, but I think it's a little of both. Or not.
This is the thing, Jared, that like with people that want to boil down one scenario, it's like, no, this is complex. And this has always been one of my issues with the whole Illuminati thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, no. I think you're giving them too much credit. And yes, they do exist, that whole order. And if you step outside and think about the idea of illumination, it's not a bad thing, okay? I mean, come on, illumination. Let's not create that into something terrible. We love illumination, but
Doesn't it kind of depend on what the source of the light from that illumination is?
Well, okay, now we got another rabbit hole.
All right.
Adam, of course.
But I do want to
I help
say,
myself.
though, that every everything like the Illuminati, like this disease, like everything that's going on, there are two narratives or more about, there's both sides of the coin out there because of the flow of information right now, which causes this collective cognitive dissonance. And that's what's dividing a lot of humanity right now, is this cognitive dissonance. There are people who are biased towards one side and biased towards the other side. And then you've got people in the middle. So it's like three groups of people here. It's just, I'm sorry, I don't know why that flied in there, but.
Well, I think it's more complex than that. I think that there's so many different aspects coming together that whole solid groups of people, and I was just using Illuminati as one example, that think they are in charge of this is maybe not the best way to view it. That somehow in the mystery of how we come together collectively through our collective, at this point, delusions, and, worst case scenario lists, it boiled together to create that egregore, that golem, that whatever we're feeding, and that it's not just, Pike wrote it down here 100 years ago and we're all following that script. I think it's definitely multi-layered, and we're giving too many people too much credit, or too many groups too much credit for all of this.
I'm not giving any humans credit for this.
Well, now at this point, don't we need to get a baseline on what the hell is a human? What in the hell?
I'm not giving any physical humans any benefit or any kudos for what's going on, because I believe that that's just their nature to do it, however that comes to be. And I think, as you said, and I completely agree, there are multiple agendas and multiple layers. There's an event, and then you get all this piggybacking, all these people being like, I'm going to take advantage of this crisis. I'm going to hold my beer.
Yes.
It's
Wait, bend over and cough.
Yeah. That's
I'm taking advantage of this too.
Only in China.
I think I can sum it up a little bit. All of creation is opportunistic.
Yes.
Well, amen. Can we get an amen in here?
And even the parasitical energy beings. So.
Absolutely.
Right. Everything's trying to exist. And
exactly.
Even if it's at in the down cycle, right? The demise atom, that's still a form of existence. And
well, the villain never sees himself that way.
I know. And this is the thing. It's like the idea of Medusa. Medusa is just trying to survive, y'all. She'd been done wrong and got thrown into that exile. She was the most beautiful. She was the baddest bitch on the playground. And then that all happened to her, and people come to slay her. She's protecting herself. Why is she bad for having all this befall her and then protecting herself?
But I don't think any of the myths called her bad or evil.
The Gorgons in general are painted, we'll put it this way.
Correct.
As not friendly to your enterprise if you are on the other side as a player. They're here to cause you great strife and great harm. That's kind of what they, how they're painted.
Right, because trauma is a big part of mythology. But I think when I hear stuff like that, I always go back to like Mary Magdalene was a whore. Like that common opinion, which is wrong, in the Bible, but whatever. But I got a whole new view of the Bible since last week. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe it's not all bullshit.
The Bible is fantastic, and everyone knows that I have been really deep diving it, but you cannot ask me, as somebody that was not raised a Christian, out of nowhere, to be giving you quotes out the good book, because
tell me the story of Job. He's got patience.
Like Job's tears. I'm thinking crystals. I'm like, all right, I know who Job is. I know generally the story, but I can't just recite that to you. But I personally have been really enjoying at this point in my life reading through the Bible. It's juicy. People want juicy and drama
Oh
and
yeah.
scare factor and all this kind of stuff. We've been missing out, people. Come on, Beelzebub has nothing on some of these other angelic, beings. Nothing.
Nobody gives demons better ideas than humans.
Speaking of demons, I'm gonna
Sorry.
I want to shift gears here.
Zoned out for a second.
Adam, I love it. You're throwing the good cards on the table.
So we're gonna shift gears here into some Jinn talk, if you don't mind, because
we going Middle Eastern.
Jinn has come up with so much for me in like the last 2 weeks, so I want to talk about it. In fact,
whoa. Ding the synchronicity
Synchro bell.
Oh,
Yeah, I had seven Jinn-related topics come up in my multiple media feeds today.
wow, yeah, I had a bunch too.
oh my goodness.
I think part of that today is the fact that there's a movie coming out called The Jinn, and it released a trailer today. So, yeah.
So now I will see the trailer because we're talking about it. I didn't
Now
know
I have to
about
look for the
it.
trailer. Yeah.
It's
Right.
going to be everywhere.
So, from what I've learned over the last, say, 10 years about the Jinn, the perception of them in my mind, and I heard people actually say this, was that, they have their own societies. They basically are beings in another dimension, and they have families and kids, and they're just like us, but they're smokeless fire. Whatever. That's kind of the impression I had in my head. I listened to this show last week with a guy named, what was his name, Suzanne?
I don't remember.
Something Barat, David or...
The
Fuck.
guy from last week's show?
No.
No, this is a different show.
Okay.
He's, I'll find it. I'll find his name.
Was he on THC? Who was he on?
His name was Brian Barat. It was an interview he had on some podcast that I can't remember the name of right now.
Okay.
Anyway, he's a magician, quote unquote magician, and practitioner. Let's call him that. He's a practitioner and also a Jinn expert on, Islam and the Jinn. Anyway, he gave me a whole new perspective on the Jinn, and I thought it was fascinating, and I wanted to share it.
Well, come on with it.
I'm working on it. So, like I said, I had always I take that back. So, it's always been my belief, the way I think about them as being societal things in another dimension. And what he described the Jinn to be more like was, it was in the context of summoning one to help you, right? And he basically went on to explain how they're energy beings and they're primitive. He said they were to be considered more like animals that act on instinct. And their instinct is to amplify energy. So if you are in an anxious or bad mood state, whatever, and you're emanating that energy and you summon a Jinn, it will amplify that energy and make your life worse, for instance. Versus if you're centered and your mind is cleared and you have been doing energy work up to that point to put your intention out there and then summon a Jinn, it will just amplify that energy. Or there will be nothing. It can't do anything about it. Or you weren't putting out enough energy for it to pick up to amplify. But the idea that these entities are, for lack of a better term, energy amplifiers and nothing more. They have no reason. They don't speak English. All they can do is, this is what got it to me. He said, all they perceive is the energy that you put out. They don't hear you. They don't see you. You're basically a cloud of energy to them. And that was where I was like, wow, that's completely different from what I've had in my head as an idea of what these things are like. I thought that was cool.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And it also brings up that whole thing of what we perceive something to be and then
what it turns out to be, or what someone tells us.
What it turns out. Yeah, that's a big deal because we in the West have definitely an idea. I think a lot of us do, Jared, that are, at least I know that when you closed your eyes before last year and you thought of Jinn, we probably had the same image. And yeah, so bringing consciousness to this is a good thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's more than that, though. It was more, I guess, the idea that they're not people, that they don't interact with you or someone like a person. They
Right.
just see an energy cloud, and they're like, "Oh, cool! I'm going to help that thing out." Nothing more, it's nothing more than that. I don't know. I just
I
thought it
like
was
that image.
interesting. That's all I'm saying.
That's really interesting. Who was that other guy we listened to that interview and we're like, oh my God, I agree with everything this guy is saying?
I don't know, what was it about?
I can't remember. You're supposed to have a better memory than me. I don't know. We were just saying, oh, we agree with everything he was saying. It was like last week sometime.
Well, on the Jinn too, you think like a lot of that, Jerry, your typing is so loud.
I thought it was muted. I'm sorry.
It's so classic. A lot of he is a super typer, everyone. Jerry's got fast fingers for all you ladies out there. And, all right, I'm constantly pimping Jer. Anyway, so but it does bring this idea of that they're possibly not these things that are predatory out there. They're out to get you, and you have to do these propers to encounter them, and all this other stuff that's kind of come in the package with them. And so it is interesting, and definitely I think a powerful exercise in seeing how these things are not one-sided, one-dimensional, especially when we're looking at things that aren't actually in this dimension with us, in the way that I could reach out and touch Suzanne. She's a human being. I can confirm that. I mean, I think I can.
Watch out for those granny hands.
Oh Lord, is this another cruise of mistake thing I've missed?
No, it was Suzanne. We were going to have a new business for her.
Oh, granny hands?
Granny handies.
Granny hands. Granny handies.
But you need granny hands to give granny handies.
Girl, I love this idea. This is
I was this close to buying the domain.
It's yeah. It's in case of an emergency that we would go to granny hands.
Right.
So,
Well, we need Keats to do like a whole jingle for that.
I told her, and I was honest, just completely 100% honest. She could make a fortune just filming these things, like going in parking lots. It's not illegal too, because you're making porn. But you could put up an OnlyFans page, and she would make so much money. And
there are fetishes everywhere. Yeah.
She wouldn't have to you wouldn't have to put her face. Nobody's face has to be there, just a hand and a dick. I swear to God, you'd make a fortune.
Well, you don't, and so you could sub. There.
It could even be a stunt cock.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Girl,
That's true.
Pull out
it could be Steve.
Yeah.
Just pull the pants up a little more every time.
That's true.
Or down, whatever.
This leads to a lot of fruitful stuff. You could have auditions too, and but it could lead to subcategories too. So granny hands and
Granny hands, the director's couch.
right, Adam, or grandma,
the
granny
cut.
hands talking nasty.
Yeah.
So you're in there. You're like, come on, you motherfucker, come
Come for me, bitch.
Yeah, right.
You could learn some sign language and hit
You
two crowds at once, man.
You could do countdown comes, cum shot. You got 10 seconds to come. I mean, you could wear gloves or something. Wear like fingerless gloves one time.
COVID granny hands episode.
Yeah, you could wear different gloves and do latex handies and whatever. I'm telling you.
This show, I swear, what has happened?
Somebody should do this.
This is true. Jay Armstrong says it doesn't even need to be a real dick.
Yeah.
Like I said, stunt cock.
That's what Adam said.
Well, I hear stunt cock. I always think of myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, ladies.
Back from my porn days.
Just remember, ladies, those fingers, 180 strokes a minute.
And my tongue moves faster.
Oh my goodness.
That's right. If you've got a dent, he can buff it out. Just like on the hood of a 57 Chevy.
I could fix that hump for you.
Show me your prions. Show me what you're working with.
I was telling Steve, I was telling Grimsteak last night about a dead Tony story, which I'll regale you with. He was a nasty fucker. Okay, just I'll put that out there. Anyway, and he was always drunk for the most part because he was a horrible alcoholic, and he was on like 30 codeine a day. So he's fucked up. Anyway, he would always make comments about women. Okay, so where we grew up, there were a lot of older elderly people who were bent over or had humps, you know, like osteoporosis, people in their 90s, back in the 80s and 90s, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of women walking at a right angle. And whenever we walked by one, he would turn to me and go, I could fix that. And even sometimes he would say to them, if they had a hump, he'd always say, I could fix that hump. Like right to their face. And they're like, what? It was hilarious. And you could just imagine being stoned and your friend doing that, right? I could fix that hump.
Oh my
God. Then he would always throw in like a dollar amount of how much it's going to cost him per stroke of his cock to do it.
Oh Lord!
So
you should take that. It should have taken that to Florida.
I can fix that hump. $250. Yeah. Well, this is where it all started. We were down in West Palm with him.
Oh.
Yeah, I could fix that. $250 a stroke. Dead Tony.
Oh my God! I have known so many men that work older women in Florida. It's not even funny, and it's like men that I think, you know, some of them were just like, oh my goodness, this where, you know, that's like, well, I'm just not going to make associations with character, but it's just so shady. And Florida has always been like the pinpoint to be the gigolo, make some money. A lot of wealthy elderly women there.
Dude, you know I'm going to be exploiting that old ass pussy when I get down there.
Jerry, you're the pussy whisperer. You've been saying that for years.
Dude, like, look, man.
For anyone listening, I'm totally kidding.
There's a fine line between a good wine and that shit become vinegar. Okay, I'm just saying.
Dude, you know I like my cake a little stale.
Well, I mean, who doesn't love seasoned?
There's 100-year-old egg and they're seasoned. Scary me. Come on.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up tonight that we can talk about is the uptick in UFO shit that's happening. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I have.
Well, we talked about this. I don't know if it was the last time we had Suzanne on, but it's in the air. They're really rolling it out, and they're pushing it, and it's coming from every angle. So we have who's back on the stage again? Rosa. Is it Rosa with the Von Braun stuff?
No, Carol Rosen.
Oh, it's Carol. And so she's like all of a sudden everywhere again with the Von Braun stuff. And then we've got the TTSA carrying on.
Well, they broke up. They broke up. I know, the band.
But I'm talking about the pieces of the the pieces that are flailing around are, you know, there's stuff coming up, and there's stuff when they were together is resurfacing.
And what about the 180-day disclosure that was in the first COVID bill?
Right. It's all over. And so it's going to be interesting to see what we get served, everyone. What we actually get served.
What do you think we're going to get? Do you think we're going to get Peaceful Space Brothers, invasion and forced breeding, invasion, the envelopment of your resources and the enslavement of your people, or we're just a friendly flyby?
Well, the last one we already have.
Yeah, well,
it'll be government enslavement masked under the guise of aliens.
Yeah.
Because now on the flip side, it's more like a 60-degree angle from that instead of 180, is the idea that all the alien shit that's in the media is making us manifest them.
There's so many. That's that's this whole point of the show.
Rampant thought forms.
Yes. How many of these things
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Coming together to create what's going on. It's not one thing, it's a barrage of things.
Especially when you consider the amount. Sorry,
Yes.
I was just going to say, especially when you consider the amount of emotional energy that's actually required to fuel such a manifestation, it makes sense that if you have an entire population of a planet who's unconsciously in a state of agitation and trauma constantly, that's like, you know, pretty much perpetual motion engine, just pumping it out, pumping it out, pumping it out, forcing manifestation.
It just needs a trigger, something like, aliens gave us the cure.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I'm personally finding interesting in some of this, the alien stuff that's getting pushed right now is are some of the languaging that's coming out from interesting people. And the stuff I'm finding provocative is the ones that are saying the aliens are saying that humans aren't ready because we can't perceive the reality of what space is, let alone what they are. And I find that very provocative. And that one was ringing around when Trump was still in, and I can't remember where else, but it made the circuit and the mainstream circuit. And so, but I'm kind of with that. And then it petered out into all this other stuff, but I'm kind of with that because we don't really know what space is. Sorry, I don't. And I think that given the restrictions on our perceptions of reality, and especially now that we see how easily it's manipulated, that our ideas are the ideas around not perceiving what all this really could be is very intriguing, and also kind of when the mind's set to do its work, right, kind of has a scary flair to it.
Yeah, totally.
I agree.
So that's where I'm looking. I'm like, we really don't know what space is. And I mean, I have an idea of what I think is my perceptions of what it is, but aliens, what if, I mean, what they're saying, at least some of these are saying, we can't conceive of them, therefore they can walk amongst us openly, and are, because we cannot actually conceptualize them at all. And so, and this makes sense to me having taken neuroscience classes. This makes sense to me dealing with the idea, you know, PTSD kind of stuff, and how things we get triggered. And as an artist, and looking at in literature, Philip K. Dick earlier, how they present something that's unseeable or unrecognizable, and they make it into something that you can construct and build from. But if you don't have any basis for something, what are you doing? How do you construct it?
You don't. You have it told to you. You have you're told what it is and what it looks like through cartoons, and
Yes.
you imagine that, and 90% of the world probably imagines space to be like that. So, of course, it's going to look like that when people see it.
Well, and then you get experts. So then you file in the whole circus. So then experts come in. This is what space is. This is what gravity is. This is what this is. And then you get everyone agreeing, okay, here we are. And the whole time it's weird shadows, right, on the wall.
Right. But this is the way it is for almost everything. And it's that piggyback effect. It's like, oh, here's something cool. I want to get a piece of it. But there's I forgot how I was going to tie this in, but I saw another story this week, I think it was today even, that some CERN experiment has contradicted current physics.
Yes,
lack of a better
that.
term.
Yeah, that was
Somewhere.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the headline you read earlier.
Right. And it just, this was my point. It kind of shows a point where the quote unquote expert scientists come up with a model, and then everything's built on that model.
Yeah.
And anything outside of that model can't be possible or doesn't fit in their model, so it's not real. Right. a good example of it being a bad model, and the model's broken. This is the problem. They're finding out the model's broken, especially in physics, as we saw today. In astronomy, for sure. How many things have you seen lately? Is it, oh, we found something in the sky that can't exist, or it happened before the quote-unquote Big Bang? You know, it's always things break their model, but they can't explain it, so they throw it away as an outlier, an oddity, statistical anomaly, whatever. And, when you're observing something that's 2 trillion miles away, like you're going to be able to actually say what's going on out there. Come on. Not to mention the fact that that happened a billion years ago. It's not like it's happening now. It already happened. And what you're looking at is basically a screenshot from back then. Anyway, so the physics model's broken. So eventually we're going to, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we'll probably move back towards an ether-based kind of thing, I hope. Because that seems to be what's really going on.
Yeah, but it seems to be getting a good washover now too, like thrown back under for some reason.
Yeah,
it felt
because
like it was
money.
Each ether field was merging, Jer, if you noticed, for a minute. And then all of a sudden now it feels like, again, I'm hearing more people on the opposite end pushing those established scientific models out.
Right.
Now.
Well, I think the big thing that's going to break the current astrophysics model is dark matter, which they can't find.
I was just going to say the whole dark matter.
Right.
Are they saying ether is dark matter now? I mean, what are they defining as dark matter? Isn't it just anything that?
It's energy that they can't detect. That's what they say it is. So it's an invisible mystery particle that's out there.
Isn't that the ether?
Pretty much. Well, I don't know that the ether has mass. So that would kind of break that idea that dark matter is taking up all the mass of the universe. But it very well could. I have no idea. Ben Davidson says it's dust. It's just dust. That's trapped in the ether. And we can't see it because it's one particle a billion miles away,
And just on a juicy factor, when I started diving into, and when I made a decision to start diving into the Bible and all of the apocryphal stuff, the dust idea has really come forward. I love it.
Yeah.
Dusk is a very powerful term in the Bible, and
in the his Dark Materials series.
Adam.
It's something to look at, and so now every time I hear it or see it tied into stuff, especially scientifically, I'm like, ooh, they talking about dust.
You should join Suzanne and I sometime for one of our more theological discussions.
I love the theology. You know this. All right, I'll be right back, y'all. I have to do something.
Get that dog.
Okay.
Get that dog. Yeah, so I'm curious to see what, if anything, is released by the government from this stupid
The whole
legislation.
UFO stuff. Yeah.
Weird. You want to hear a bogus thing that happened? You know what else they stuck into that bill?
What?
Was a law prohibiting the U.S. Postal Service to deliver any type of nicotine or nicotine-related products. So you'll no longer be able to buy vape juice, vape devices, batteries, nicotine patches, that kind of shit through the mail.
Oh my God. When does that start?
April 12th, I think. But the worst part of it is that UPS and FedEx both agreed to comply with it.
Wait, what did they comply with?
Wow, that's harsh.
They jammed this thing in the I don't know if it was called the PACT Act or that was the name of the legislation on a whole. But in the last COVID relief bill that Trump signed, there was, remember that 5,000 page one that they gave him like a day to read, which obviously didn't read.
Oh God, I hate how they do that.
Yeah. One of the provisions in there was to strip the UPS, to forbid the U.S. Postal Service from delivering quote unquote nicotine products and delivery systems. Like vape juice, liquid nicotine.
Why? What's the reasoning here?
Because I don't want people vaping.
Like
Isn't
that-
it
so-
because children will get a hold of it?
I'm
Isn't this whole
sure. I'm
to
sure.
save the children?
I'm sure. But whatever.
But that's what I'm
But
asking.
no, give
What's
them
their
a fucking
official?
poisonous vaccine.
What's their official stance on why they're not doing it? What are they saying?
They have. Well, the Postal Service has to comply. UPS and FedEx, I don't know what their reason is. They're probably just going along so they can keep getting their government subsidies.
Well, FedEx is separated from the post office.
I know, but FedEx and UPS both get federal tax write-offs and shit. They get benefits. Oh,
I know.
I
It
know.
was to get the CARES
Well,
money,
no,
probably.
Here's
There's all kinds of
I-
money floating out there.
I do know why. It's because UPS and FedEx have deals with the post office where they hand off stuff that the post office delivers. You know, you get stuff
Smart
from
Post, but they don't.
They do.
They don't have that Smart Post, and they don't have that relationship anymore.
but FedEx does. I'm just saying they may have
FedEx does not have that relationship
okay.
anymore.
Amazon does.
Well, Amazon might, but I'm tied into FedEx, and you know this.
No, I don't know this.
Well, I am,
Okay.
and I just know this. So.
Okay, so fine. I don't know why then they're doing it, but they're doing it. So like now, I don't, whoever wrote that didn't think this through or did think it through, because if this is going to put almost every vape shop on the planet in the United States out of business, because how are they going to get deliveries?
Yeah.
It's like they killed the whole industry with one thing, one tiny thing. Which is stupid because it's basically saying go back to smoking cigarettes.
Yep. Wow.
Because you can get cigarettes
Tobacco
anywhere.
industry is worth more money.
Apparently.
I was gonna say the tobacco industry.
Well,
must be
yeah, and it
behind
fuels
this, but
cancer. So,
they have
and that's also worth
products.
more money because people are into that, hooked into that lifetime of treatment shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Someone asked how
You cure people.
Jet was asking how vape shops are going to get their stuff, and it's like I don't know. I can only guess there are other companies out there. DHL comes to mind. I didn't see anything about them adhering to this, so it's very possible that DHL will deliver all the vape shit from now on, which means they're going to raise their prices because of the the danger or whatever bullshit reason they come up with. Oh, it's going to be, we're going to take so much heat for this, we'll have to raise our prices to compensate.
Do you guys ever feel like the red pill should have come with a handful of mushrooms and a whiskey chaser?
Yes.
Because what the F, man?
It's
And a
cool.
Adam, I love
blowjob.
that. I
This-
love that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'll bring up one more thing that I think was funny this week was, so it's funny
I'm
enough.
sorry, but that has to be a meme, Jerry. What Adam just said. It's got to be a meme.
Put it. I will re-listen to it later and make one.
Gotta do it. All right, sorry.
So no. Biden's all super mask happy, right? He's got to wear like 8,000 masks all the time. They cover 90% of his face. And they came out and did an Easter speech on the porch from the White House, where they're the only people out there, right? And they're wearing their masks. And they bring out the fucking Easter Bunny, and there's a goddamn mask on the Easter Bunny's mask.
Oh,
I saw that.
Oh
I
my
did. I
God.
saw that. It's terrible.
And that's when I declared that we have reached peak clown world.
Well, I mean, it couldn't be more obvious unless the Easter Bunny were a clown, but essentially. I know. Well, this is a thing that bothers me with the masking. All right, fine. But if we want what are we? We're in the administration of science. Science. What are the
Ministry
administration
of Science.
Science. Everything's going to be held to science. And where's their first flaw in this masking thing? There's a real science with masking. And so if you're going to really be honest and value science, well, you've fucked it up right there. You've just straight out fucked it up. And then telling people to wear 2 masks just double whammied that. And reasonable minded people listen to that and are still good, calling other people that are really following edge cutting science out there in the thousands, by the way, people coming out, scientists coming out, talking about scientific studies and showing examples saying this and that. And then we got this whole joke, science, and this piece of cloth that has no basis in real science. What in the hell? What in the hell?
Yeah. It's all virtue signaling at this point, as far as I can tell.
Well, it's almost beyond virtue signaling. It's like, how can we make more of it's almost like it's the joke's on you kind of
Well,
thing.
there are people that are very fearful and they wear their masks religiously, inside their houses, inside their cars, all that stuff. They're very, very scared.
I wear my mask in my car.
It's all right. See, I'm not saying don't wear a mask. That's never been.
No, you aren't.
I'm saying there's a science behind it, and wear the proper mask for what is being touted out there. So instead of, wear a proper mask that's actually fits the science to the problem.
Right tool, right job.
Thank you, Adam, for simplifying.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the truth, though. It's all right to wear a mask. Who's saying that don't? Well, I'm not saying don't wear a mask, but you're looking like fools when you really believe this stuff, and then you're wearing a piece of cloth over your mouth that
Just
won't protect you.
Wear the right kind. Wear one that works.
Yeah, right.
Like literally, I saw some, and I have a friend that's a checker at one of the local grocery stores here, and she said, "Would you look at this?" And I said, "Okay," and she shows me. And it's a packet of masks. And I said, "Where did you guys get these?" And she says, "This is what corporate sent us to wear."
Oh my God.
And I said, "These literally say for entertainment purposes only."
Oh, girl.
And I was like, "You should maybe just go spend $1 at the other store."
Oh my God, that is so funny.
And so like all the employees of the store who have not purchased like their own personal masks, of course, corporate will provide. By the way, these are for entertainment purposes only. So look good while you're wearing it, and that's kind of all it is. And it's so creepy to me because they're like I have literally had a couple of people tell me that they were told, well, you don't have to wear the mask. It's only a suggestion, but I can't guarantee that we'll be able to put you on the schedule.
Oh my God.
So while, it's not direct enough to be a bad thing, it's direct enough to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's for
terrible.
entertainment purposes only. So never forget that.
That is, how clear is that?
Right?
Yeah.
It says right there.
Fucking the vaccine passport in the UK is called the scheme. The vaccine passport scheme. How fucking evident is that?
Well, didn't I tell you? Remember months and months ago, I told you, wait till they start requiring this shit for people to do things like leave their house and go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And then wasn't I just saying, like, when they started doing this in Israel, I said, oh, look, it's starting in the Holy Lands. But it's crazy. But it's crazy, but it's true. It's really,
they call it a
kind of
scheme
going down
there
that way.
too.
It's crazy. Yes. That's because it is a scheme. It's a total scam.
Mm-hmm. It's a total scheme and a scam. Yep. And they're putting it right out there. And people believe it. I just can't even believe it.
Well, I've held out all along that there's more to this, and they do need at some point. Well, maybe they don't. It seems like they should. I know before I locked down my Twitter, I'd made that comment that I can't even remember. It was something so stupid and obvious. If they told you to do this, or that I can't even remember. Like if they told you that wearing shoes was going to cause scoliosis, everyone would be out of shoes. Like they would stop wearing shoes because they're just generally told. That's how stupid all this has become. And so now it's like, do they even need bodies to drop to get people to do what they want? I mean,
no, they just
it was like
save someone's dead.
Right. And we saw that really with this movement of double masking, right? Like how absurd was that? And then there are people, we've all seen them. I have seen them personally in double masking and encountered and have, like
The frightening people who are alone in their vehicle with the windows rolled up, driving, and also well masked. Those people, I think, are absolutely insane.
Yeah, me too.
There's
no one
honestly.
with you.
And what's sad is it's kind of sad because the propaganda works, and they're watching the Mockingbird media.
That's true.
And they're not sourcing any other information.
No.
And that's what's sad. And I feel bad because they are actually being used, and a lot of people have grown up with, you just don't veer off of these mainstream media channels, and that's the
true.
standard. And so there's something about that I get, but
look at the era we grew up in where like you didn't veer because there were only 3 options.
Right. Well, we had very little options.
ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah.
Well, NPR was like the gold standard.
Well, I'm talking about
Which
TV.
old pantheon do you want today?
So my personal belief on the worst aspect of what's happened with the masks is it's been going on over 9 months or more now, that it's become so commonplace. I see people, and I've actually talked to people about this. Why are you sitting in your car on your phone with a mask on? And
with a cigarette.
Well, not even with cigarettes, just on their phone or goofing,
but
whatever.
That's my favorite, in the car with the windows up, the mask and the cigarette.
My point is, when the answer I always get is, "Oh, I forgot I had it on."
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I get too.
That's bad. A. B. People are conditioned now to, when they walk inside someplace, they put it on, regardless if the place wants it or not, or requests or requires it. They just do it out of habit. And thirdly, the bad part, the worst part of all this is that no one's ever going to feel comfortable again not wearing a mask. The people who have been masking diligently,
they're going to want to keep wearing them.
Yeah.
Well, because now they associate it with safety.
Correct.
Yes.
And they associate it with comfort and normalcy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And protecting their health.
And conformity. And they're convinced that they're making others feel better, which makes them feel better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it hits all the right dopamine buttons to make you be a good little boy or girl.
It's the new social media
Absolutely.
And the vaccines are the next stage in that. Yeah.
Well, Jack and all their friends, they feel like, they want that. What they feel is that they want other people, just what you said, to feel comfortable. So like they put their mask going in the drive-through at a restaurant, or at a drive-through restaurant.
People do that.
And I'm like, why? If you're not sick, you're not sick.
Right.
Well, it just makes them feel better, and it's respectful. They think it's respectful.
Your job. It's not respectful.
It is not my job. So then I think, well, I'm just going to be an asshole then, because I'm not going to wear one. I'm not sick. So
right, but like when I was in Florida, I went out to eat twice, right? And I walked into both places without a mask on and sat down and ate and left. But almost everyone else who walked in had a mask on and sat down and took it off. It's like, what's the difference? We're all crammed in a restaurant. Oh my God. Anyway, but the dirty looks you get for not wearing a mask is hilarious.
It's interesting. I've had a couple people that want to now. So I sense out an environment. For me, it's all about survival. And if I go somewhere like in the local Home Depot or something, which I find myself at often, I'll go in. It says it on the door, but I'll go in, and I usually am testing with a big scarf wrap I have. So it can, it's been winter, and that's a standard look for me. And so that kind of comes up around to keep my face warm and neck warm and all that. And it can come all the way up to my nose, and it's fine. And I won't have my proper mask, which is a beautiful piece of lace. And, and so I'll sense in there, I'll see, is anyone else wearing one? I'll get the environment. And then if there's one person without it, then I will pull down my scarf and then walk around. And it's amazing to me how easy that is. And I'm not ever usually the one person that just goes in, fuck it, because I don't want to have the bad experience. But I have had a couple people do the body snatchers thing at me, point at me and make the comment. And I've made a, cheeky comment, bimbo-y comments in return. And then I've had other people, so those people are more friendly. I've had a few other people that look like they really wanted to attack me, but they're afraid of me at the same time. So I would just I'd have to keep it like, okay, if you're looking at a screen, like the red target, keep your eye on the red target. This person doesn't like you and they're scared of you. They're scared of you. Listen to my language. They're scared of you, child. They're afraid of you, are intimidated by you in some way. They're not going to say anything, but those are the same people you see in all the videos where someone's walking and they just sucker punch people from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the people that worry me, where you can see they're fuming and they want to say something, but they don't have the guts or balls to just point at you and body snatcher you, right?
Yeah.
And say, it's the ones that you can see that are smoldering, and it's like, all right, eyes on the back of the head.
You can feel their
totally feel
energy.
it.
Their hatred is putrid and it surrounds you.
I got a haircut a couple weeks ago, which you can see.
Yes.
Looks good.
And it's got a dent from my headphones on, but there were, I think, 7 chairs. They had them all spaced out, right, where you could sit and wait. And on one side of the chairs were people with masks, and then on the side I was on, there were people with no masks on. And then everyone else who was getting the haircut had no mask on. But the haircutters...
It makes no sense.
It's like you're sitting in a enclosed space that's maybe 30 by 50 feet, with a majority... This is the thought I always have when I walked into the restaurant, and you get a dirty look from someone with a mask on who's standing there. And you look around and there's 100 people, 150 people in that restaurant eating without masks.
And you get the dirty look from the one standing. Yeah.
And without a mask, I was in the majority of people.
Right.
But I'm getting dirty looks from, just furtive glances, I will call them, because I can't see their mouths. I don't, I just see their eyes because they're, covered with cloth. But it's just like, you are in the minority, you lunatic. Yeah. Take that shit off. It doesn't help.
They still feel superior. It's giving people this weird power that they have. And they just, it emboldens them, and they think they're right, and they're following the science. And like Elon Musk, what he tweeted today. What, Adam?
I said emboldens them. No, it doesn't. All it does, because when you give weak people power and they become bullies, all it does is expose who they really are as people.
Well, that's
true. It doesn't embolden them. For fuck's sake,
true.
It just shows you what they are. Sorry.
Oh yeah. It's the truth, though.
Sugarcoat a little bit, Adam.
Suzanne, you were saying with the Elon Musk thing.
Oh yeah, his tweet today about he believes in the vaccine and
I saw that.
Because of science and all this crap. And I was just like, do you even read, dude?
It's probably because they're using his tech.
It is.
There's like
his tech, his in air quotes.
I know he's an extension of the CIA. Don't you realize this?
Yes, he's the leader of the band. He's the singer, right? So
he's the bassist.
No, he's actually the front person.
Okay, I could see it that way too.
Yeah,
he's the singer. So he's the flashy one up front. But yeah, I mean, it is. It's something I do feel intrinsically. Let me put it this way. I feel down in my bones that something big is on the horizon, and I don't know what it is. We can all speculate, and there are lots of juicy crumbs everywhere. In fact, there are so many juicy crumbs that there are no trails. We're just in a pile of crumbs.
I
It's like,
know.
it's like the
Jump
bottom
right
of it.
in.
It's the bottom of your oven.
I'm getting ready to make matzo ball soup with all these crumbs. And so, but it does feel to me like something big is getting ready to go down. Now the other shoe, whatever that is close by. So I don't think we even have to wait long for whatever we've been distracted from and obviously conditioned into, because we have to consider also, not only is this a litmus test, but there's conditioning involved.
True.
And all that's been observed and charted and analytics left and right. But something is big. And when both shoes are off, then we know.
I feel like we're waiting for the grand finale at the fireworks show. That's what it feels like.
I can agree to that, but then I also have to add that, you know, about 50% of the time, I'm pretty sure that the big finality is going to be a lot of duds.
Yeah, see, the whole idea of the big finale doesn't sit with me because
it's like doesn't it have like the wrong, like it just has the wrong energy to it. It's the wrong.
Well, it feels like they're
vibration.
just going to throw a bunch of stuff at us at once.
Yeah, and it's like, what is that thing? Throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, see what sticks. Yeah.
And with whatever's coming down the pike that's big, that we all know something's coming down, that is really going to be the gateway into something that is now new and in front of us. And so, you know what I'm saying? And that's why the finale part doesn't ring with me at all. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I think too, like when we talk about having that sense of something big, but that something big being undefinable, I think that's when there are too many possibilities yet to choose what's to be manifest.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So like there are too many possibilities and too many probabilities still in the mix. So until some of those things wash out and there are only possibilities and certainties left, and that's when it will start to take shape. It'll be like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That shit's gonna
You're
rock.
so right on with that, Adam. It's even like when like the lottery ball thing. There's all these balls in there, and it's just a matter of what comes, you know, when they do it. There's so much going on.
I think it will depend on whatever's closest to the surface when the catalyst for manifestation hits. So it'll like manifest that which is the most prevalent vibration.
Yeah, I agree. And this makes sense to me logically, looking at ideas through scientific models, mind you, that would be how things play out.
My vote's for the ether.
Oftentimes, well, I'm always for the ether, baby. The etheric field. So it's going to be interesting, but it feels like we don't have to wait very long for some of this, the rest of whatever this is, to present itself.
Well, what's going to happen when the dollar implodes? You know, they've been calling for that for years, but it really seems like it's a real possibility of late. So,
especially if this $2 trillion infrastructure bill goes through. Oh my God, which only has like, I read 6% towards infrastructure.
For infrastructure.
Oh, of course.
I can't even say that word right now.
Talk about extortion and thugs. I mean, seriously, how, of course, this is just more heretical talk that we're talking here. But I mean, at what point do enough people realize that our overlords are the would-be overlords are extorting from us, this is not a fair system. This is a thug life system.
That's why you're always told life's not fair.
Exactly.
That way you can't misconstrue the rules. You're told up front.
Right. And it's funny that people, I mean, I hear the constant thing though. What do I do? What do I do? Well, there are a million passive things you can do, and you don't talk about them on air. And but there are a lot of passive things that you don't do to passively resist. And I think a lot of more people, I think there's becoming like a snowball effect with a lot of these things that people can passively not do, that will snowball. And hopefully so, because the system we're in is a thug life system, baby, and they are extorting off of your ass.
Yeah. Very true.
I've never felt less connected to my government than I do now.
Oh, I know. The thrill is gone. 2 ships passing in the night.
I am in 100% agreement with that sentiment and statement.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is time. It's time for, the
It's
old
time to
thugs.
burn down the house.
It's definitely time for the old thug to get his old ass out. And I
All
don't mean, I'm
complicated
not just
systems
talking
must
about
be
our president
destroyed.
here. I'm talking about the thug system, the system,
Yes.
the bigger system that is like an octopi over this planet, whatever shape it is.
It has no shape. It's a holodeck. Holodeck. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about?
It's whatever we need it to be.
No, I know I had topics. Yay.
Yay.
Did that come through?
Yeah.
Topics
Yeah.
are good.
That's hilarious. I've never used any of these buttons on my mixer, so
Nice.
I don't even know what's here.
Well, we got to get you a good soundboard, baby.
Laugh track.
Get you some Rick and Morty sound bites. Get you a couple of James has all these funny Trump ones. I clipped a couple out that he plays. It was Trump in his speech, and he said something about I don't know, kiss the children goodnight because the wind's gonna blow. I forget what he says, but it's like a sentence that makes no sense about a baby in the bath, and it's
Wait, is this a Biden one?
No, this was Trump.
Oh Lord, because that sounds like Biden.
I mean, it made sense in the context of what he was talking about, and it was a quip he threw in at the end of a statement. But
Sometimes without a chart, I can't tell the difference in dementia.
This is true. Biden's hilarious though. But yeah,
Oh my God,
James
yeah.
has all these great Trump quotes, and he's got someone clipped together enough of Trump quotes to sound like he was saying James Cruz.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Nice.
I do love James's little soundboard. It's hilarious. Can I say this now? Or is it too soon? But I don't have a foot in the political game. I don't. And I want to make that very clear. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, I miss the entertainment factor of Trump. I do.
Yeah.
Oh God, me too.
I
The
did
news
too.
is
That
so
man
fucking
tickled
boring
my
now.
bone. I know. Well, it's just so sad. They've got this old elderly man that can't
right.
put anything together.
Because now every presidential anything is just depressing.
I know, right? At least
I feel like I
Trump
should be
humor.
doing a med pass. Thank God, dude, you're so old. God.
Oh my God, I know, Mr. Burns.
Right?
Oh my God, he's painful. He's
Except Monty's
painful.
more spry.
Right, absolutely. But Trump was entertaining for me because I didn't get too attached to the politics, and that's what people are. When you see it for what it is, it's like, well, okay. I mean, but I watch people get too attached to sports events and whether Favre did this or that, or Game of Thrones and what's Khaleesi doing, and people identify. And so the main show here, has been the political platform, but love him or hate him, Trump was entertaining.
Completely. His debates before he was elected, I was watching him, and then you'd watch the debate and he's kind of clownish, but then you'd watch a speech and it's like, wow, this guy can make a speech, or he had a great speechwriter. However you want, maybe it's both.
Yeah. He delivered. But I will never forgive him for pushing this vaccine.
Me either.
There's tons of stuff I just could not I don't like. And so
Yep.
that's what I wanted to separate here, is saying I didn't agree with a lot of shit that Trump was talking, but I did agree with some. And this is the way politics always is. Some
Right.
of it's all right, some of it's not. And that's fine.
Boy,
But
I
I'm
tell you
just
what.
talking pop culture and entertainment factor. And since we're already in the land of the absurd and this, the crazy, Trump was a funny
Right.
character.
Clown world.
You
I'll bet you
could
the
have,
White House is really going to miss him during sweeps week.
okay, right? He brought in the
Yes.
views. He had so many haters that it made it, except for the fact that they were just, his haters are just very destructive.
TDS.
And
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
well, but you see the reality of the people that hated Trump were never, these people were destructive and they were tearing down shit left and right, and they had carte blanche to do so. You don't see that now. And at the core, like here in Portland, the core of when there's stuff going on downtown where they're tearing it up, you go down there and you see fuck Biden. You see fuck the administration.
Oh yeah.
It's not about Trump. And so,
It never was.
No, it never was.
Yeah.
People need to understand that. But
Trump and his administration weren't
anti-Trumpers-
inciting violence.
No.
Hatred.
The
No.
anti-Trumpers were dangerous, though, and
You
in
repeat the
that
lie
way,
long enough.
yeah. So
I
again, it doesn't matter. You're still getting your ass pimped out to the administration, to the big thug government.
I too am not political. I choose no sides, no skin in this game. I'm libertarian. I prefer to be ungoverned. But
Amen, brother.
I am
Not my circus, not my monkey.
exactly.
That's right.
Sounding like libertarians up in here.
I will say though that I have had a strong feeling and a belief for a couple years now that Trump was the problem for which they had a solution lined up, which
Yes.
I think he was selected, and I do believe he was selected to win in order to rile people enough so the pendulum could swing back to the left even harder.
And we see now that it's over here that it's really not Biden in charge. We know, those of us that understand and have been done political research and understand this, you understand that that's not the executive office is not the puppet that runs it, is just that. Now, there may have been a day back in the day when that wasn't true, but since 1933 or something, so it is clear now, very, very, very clear, whether you wanted him or not, and you wanted the quadrillion, million, billion, zillion people that said Biden is the greatest president ever, Biden is the most popular president ever, we love Biden so much that over the last 47 years of his political career, we couldn't push him up. He couldn't win in other debates. He couldn't be anything more than a vice president. And that was because Obama chose him, and Obama ran on.
He overshone him.
Yeah. And so whether or not what is clear to me looking in from outside is that he is not in charge. He does what he's told, and it's obvious. So if you ever wanted to really look at the black government, and I don't mean that in skin color, I mean that in that which is not
You
seen,
racist.
black ops.
Hidden.
I know, God forbid.
Oh,
Then
microaggression.
now, right, but now is the time when you can see clearly that the president isn't running anything. He's signing papers and sometimes blank pages.
He's only had one press conference, and it was a disaster.
Oh my
It's
God.
called the executive branch for a reason.
Every time he comes out and does a speech, he never takes any questions. None of the serious questions are being asked by the media. It's all fluff.
Nope.
There's nothing
Right.
like. I don't want to get into this, but the whole the border crisis and how we had plastered on all over the media for 2 weeks, the whole kids in cages, concentration camps, AOC crying in the white dress and the pants,
The white pants, yeah.
in front of the cages, and the The same things exist today under Biden, and they're at 700% capacity.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's the
That- I-
outrage?
Where's the outrage? Where's
Yeah.
AOC crying about the, it's so that fact alone, if you have any doubt that there was bias in the media and that they're not being in any way journalistic. I mean, it's a clown, peak clown world.
It took 19 senators to go out there, and still the news fizzled. So
And they got turned
media
away.
wasn't allowed. Right, the Biden administration wouldn't allow media in, and said they couldn't photograph and stuff, but they still did. They still
Right.
photographed and took videos.
God
and
bless
showed
James
how-
O'Keefe for getting that drone
Yeah.
footage.
Okay, and it was appalling. And where'd it go? It's gone.
Yep.
Who's talking about it now? This would still be red hot, too hot to handle, baby, if Trump were in.
We would never hear the end of it.
No. And Kamala
Right.
is supposed to be taking the reins on the whole border crisis.
But
I
she
haven't
just-
heard shit from her about it.
She's yet to go there.
She hasn't
Right.
said a peep that I've seen.
No, she's only laughed.
I could be wrong.
She's
but
only cackled.
is she talking to school people cackling? Yeah, cackling about
Well, someone
your
asked her.
students.
Someone asked her. A reporter asked, "When are you going to the border?" And
When she was in Texas when they asked her that.
yeah, I know. And she went, "Ah, not today."
Uh,
Oh my
not
God.
today.
Everything
And-
must be funny in her world.
Yeah,
No.
She's always
she is
cackling.
laughing.
That's a form of duper's delight. That she's
Yeah.
got no answer, and she knows she's not going to do it, so she laughs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Body language
interesting.
specialists love these motherfuckers.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
yeah. Well, we can all learn.
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing. We should all be learning from this.
Well, we've learned. It's obvious now that there are people who are just not going to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super obvious. And if it's not obvious to you that people aren't going to get it, and like you can't change someone's mind who've been conditioned by the media, then you're wasting your time. You
Oh
really are.
yeah.
Well, and
this
I
is
think-
so-
True.
I
Go
think
on,
it
Anna.
depends on the level of that conditioning sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there are barriers. I mean, this is with the whole jab thing. There are people. There's obviously non-vaxxers who are not going to get vaxxed no matter what, and that's a very well put together group. They're coming
Yes.
up against one of the most well together group on the
That's because
on the
most of them are
planet.
medical people.
Right.
And
Well,
I-
they know.
I just
But-
want to say
but-
too, I'm not anti-vax. I'm just not.
Me either.
I am. Do not bring those needles anywhere near.
No.
me.
I'm not generally anti-vax, but I will not take an experimental drug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is purely experimental.
Yes.
I'm not having any of it, and so.
As
But
far
what
as I'm
I'm
concerned,
saying
it's been
here-
put together with fringe science.
Yeah.
Come on.
And now
Oh
they're
my
talking.
God.
Exactly.
You know what's really great about this? And I'm sorry, Nish, for blowing you off here.
Sorry.
The news that just came out, now that there's so much success in the vaccines and it's driving down COVID cases, of course. Whatever. It's such a joke. But anyway, they're going to start working on a cancer vaccine. With
Well,
this,
that's
M-
what this whole started out as, was a fucking cancer. It was a gene therapy for cancer, to cure cancer. That's what the mRNA was
Ooh,
started
cue
as.
the movie
Right.
Legend. I Am Legend.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with this. I can't stop thinking about I Am Legend, which
Yeah.
happened,
Yep.
I think, in 2021 in the movie, or 2014,
Mhm.
Oh my God.
2024. I don't remember the date, but it's right around now.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah.
look, you created a whole new species and fucked yourself. Ooh, right
Yes,
into extinction.
A
Yeah.
species that can't reproduce. Also.
And NPC 314 wants me to mention Revelations 13:16, which I have no idea what that is.
Well, look it up. Revelation is so juicy.
Revelation 13:16.
And read it. It's
So it's from the King James Version. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he have that mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
yeah. See, this is going hand in hand with what everyone's talking about with the lucifrage and these self-replicating stuff
Nanobots.
that's going on right within the gene therapy. And also there's a whole bunch of different things going on. The tattoo, right? The tattoo.
They're just
That-
talking about that for kids, though.
Well, yeah, just like they were just talking about this for that. And where's Dr. Seuss when you need him? Oh wait, he got canceled. Yeah, it's juicy. That whole revelation of John's is very juicy. I love it.
Well, I've heard more often than not, and not lately. I haven't heard this lately, but if you listen to, I dare say who, if you listen to a lot of older super soldiers, especially ones that are dead, in their talks from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, there's a lot of talk about the powers that be starting a race war, and
Yes.
the end goal is to play out the script of the Book of Revelations, of the end
course.
times. Yeah.
Mhm.
How many
well,
times
look
have I
at
told
their-
you guys that in private conversation?
What's
Yeah.
that?
See, it's
So many.
happening. It's right there before us.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like, even though it's not true, it's just they're just playing the script.
Well,
it's
you
not
know,
that
there's
it's not
prophecy.
true.
There's prophecy, which is given so that you can step to the side of the fan when the shit is coming. And then there's scripted prophecy because some stupid motherfuckers are trying to make that crap happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is all scripted shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
It's
kind of that's what I was
it's,
saying.
it's the old narrative.
Yes.
It's the blood sacrifice narrative.
Yes.
Burnt offerings, baby. Meat
Mhm.
sacrifice.
It's the Georgia Guidestones narrative.
Yeah. Because it's the old compact.
Everything, all the shows these days is all about murder or death or
Kill. Murder,
something
death, kill.
to do with people, just people dying.
Yes.
Well, yeah, death is in the air, and they've definitely done
Yes.
their best to bring that forward with plague topics and epidemic topics and pandemic topics and zombie topics and vampire topics.
Zoom zombies.
Right?
Zoom
So-
zombies.
They're giving us all that. They're feeding us all that. And it's been a slow trickle to get people adrenal fatigue to the point where they are now. You can't chase it when you're fatigued. The adrenal.
That's why I
fatigue.
feel like there's going to be some big finale because everybody's so, we're so sick of everything that they have to pull some big rabbit out of their hat to make us pay attention again.
Yeah, except
I
the
don't
best
know.
part of the trick will be when there's no rabbit.
Yeah.
Ooh wee.
No,
The
think
rabbit
about
was
it.
never there.
That really is the best part of the trick. There's no rabbit because there never was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's almost like The Prestige in a way.
What is that? My mother used to say to us when we were kids, the very best place to hide something is in plain sight, my darlings.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah,
and
and
that-
sometimes
what a
the very
true
best way
thing.
to hide something is just to say it is, even when it's not.
Right.
A- Absolutely.
Emperor has no clothes.
Yeah, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, a multitude of other crap.
So how about that Mars rover?
Oh my God!
Where's it at right now?
I don't know. They got
Yeah.
apparently a helicopter up there now too. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they got a helicopter. That's pretty cool.
But we're not back to the moon.
No, we can't go there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. At some point, I feel like I miss many days of being able to check in on the world woo, and so the days that I do, I make it a point. I think it's important to check in And the days I do, I'm just like swamped with them. Like, holy crap, how can this much have gone down in 4 days?
Right?
You know, like in my lifetime up to like a certain point, this much stuff didn't even happen. It happens in a normal 4 days now.
I
It's
feel like the reason for us, especially like, okay, look at our age group. And for us, the reason everything feels so sped up too is because now, like at the age we're at now, the world is literally your fingertips away. But
Yeah.
look, when we were growing up, like there was no such thing as internet and email and being able to talk to somebody this morning, you know, just instantaneously. Like there wasn't really that. So our world, by comparison, was quite a bit smaller.
yes, and we had the
Mhm.
Mockingbird media that gave us everything.
Right? Yeah. And so now our world is ginormous and everybody is constantly connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
getting more so as augmented reality comes in and we're bio engineered in a way.
Yeah. And now that nobody thinks and everyone feels, they can soft pedal the transhumanism to you even more.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
It feels
they're
so
really
good.
pushing
And-
telepathy.
They're pushing a lot of shit. They're
gonna-
Mhm.
I
I
lost
just
count.
watched a film that Jerry had suggested. And what was it where the thoughts are outside the men only?
Chaos
Yeah.
Walking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
That was
a
interesting.
very interesting film. There's a lot of these films right now that I'm finding. So right now I'm trying to catch up on like what's normally my woo catch up. I'm trying to catch up on the stuff they produce that's like for real produced instead of, well, the news is for real produced, but the stuff that they actually properly put out is sci-fi or fiction. And I'm overwhelmed by how much there is now just in the movies in the last 2 years and the series.
Mhm.
I mean, Next, and I could just go, we could go on all night about them. It's unbelievable how much is out there now. We used to have to wait a good long time for
Yeah.
some real good sci-fi or real good sci-fi, series.
Now it's like
Yeah.
a sci-fi buffet in a multitude of languages and cultures.
You can't even
It
keep up,
is.
Adam.
I
It
have
was like
watched-
everyone held on to Firefly for like
Yeah.
12 years, and then all of a sudden it's like you get a Firefly every 3 days. There's a new series
Right.
that just dumped the whole series in one day. Didn't exist, and there it is.
What did you think about the Luminaries?
I loved it, but I'm an Eva Green fan, so
God, I
She
just
did-
hated her character.
well, her character is atrocious, but it's
Yes.
Eva Green, and so I really liked it, but I'm a weird period person like that, and so when they're dressing the way I do and all this,
Have you watched Ophelia on HBO? I think it's HBO.
What's the I think of Shakespeare, of course.
It's a period piece. It's excellent. I just watched it today. I'll find it and I'll DM you with it.
Is it tied into Hamlet and all that? What is it?
It is, yeah. It's a take on the Hamlet
Oh,
play of Ophelia.
If you like Shakespeare, you should watch The Lion in Winter with Patrick Stewart and Glenn Close.
No. Lion in Winter with Sir Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn.
Also epic and is my first choice always in theater. However, Patrick Stewart and Glenn Close give an amazing performance on film that is literally nipples to die for.
So I'm gonna.
It's on Showtime, by the way, not HBO.
I am
Thank
going,
you.
Adam, on that. I've been pushing Lion in because one of my bloodlines goes back to that Catherine, and
Nice.
and I just don't talk about all that stuff too much. But anyway, so I love The Lion in Winter. I'm a fan of it, and that film with Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole has been on my top 100 list forever.
Mhm.
And this is what I didn't realize until I posted that film the other day on Twitter, that there was a remake. That the one you're talking about with Glenn Close, and I didn't even know that there was a remake of the film.
Mhm.
So, of course, I'm a fan of the story. I'm a fan of that particular Catherine, and it's on my list. But I find it ironic in a weird way that you mentioned that, because when I first heard it, I'm like, how do you top that first run? But if you're saying that, I
You
will
know,
be checking it out.
I think it's apples and oranges because the interpretation with O'Toole and Hepburn is so very classical in that sense of elegantly classic.
Yeah.
And then if you compare it to, at least my interpretation of the comparison is that Lion in Winter with Patrick Stewart and Glenn Close is so much more visceral and raw, and it makes those characters real people that need to bathe. You know what I mean? It's like there's a level of realism to it that doesn't come through in the other performance.
Oh my. Well, I hope I can find that in a place I go to find films.
It's called good acting, is what it's called.
Well, no,
Wasn't
don't
filmed
say
on an
that.
iPhone.
Interpretation though, because
That's like, you can't say
Hepburn
that
are
when
amazing.
Katharine Hepburn is arguably one of the best actresses ever, and her performance.
I'm agreeing.
Was
I was
stunning.
agreeing. It's what you're describing is good acting.
Yeah.
True though. True.
But he was talking specific about seeing the Glenn Close one.
Yeah, but okay, compare like the original Hamlet film with like the Kenneth Branagh version.
Okay, true.
You know,
true,
it's like
true. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, there's a different. Older films were more, I don't know, put together better, well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now it's all done
Yeah, but
via
what
software.
Adam's saying,
yeah, go ahead.
But what Adam's saying about this newer version of The Lion in Winter is that it's supreme, and of course those actors are. So I want to see that version. I hope
I
it's
would love to
placed-
watch it with you. We should do like a watch party and watch it together.
Ooh,
I can arrange that.
this.
Ooh,
Let's
that
do
would be
that.
awesome.
I want to have
that.
some Rick and Morty watch parties too.
Oh yeah.
For reals. We've been putting that off. We need to
Yeah,
stop
we
doing
have.
that.
Yeah.
Well, let's make Lion in Winter happen for sure. I'm so 100% on that.
Me too.
So Rivers
Hello.
brought up in Luminaries, there's a bunch of babies were born at the same time.
Oh really?
Babies born in the same
What's going
hospital on the same day. I don't remember that in the show.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
remember that either.
Yes. Yeah. That's part of the narrative.
Where? So like I haven't watched the very last episode. It must be in that episode. Or I must have slept through the part where that was at, 'cause I don't remember it.
I think that happens to me too.
I was so
get to watching stuff and I fall asleep
yeah,
so easily.
me too. Oh my God, it's
I
horrible.
take those unintentional death naps frequently.
Oh.
So I got one more thing that's chaffing me this week.
Okay, what's that?
And then we'll end the show. It's going to be the Jerry Bitch show. But anyway, I started watching this show that was on NBC. It came out in 2018. It's called Manifest. And the premise of the show is that this plane leaves from Jamaica. There's a family, and they all went to Jamaica on vacation. And on their way back, the plane was overbooked, so 3 of them took $400 and the next plane out. You know, consolation prize. The first plane gets home fine. The second plane, well, you find out when they land. So they go through this weird storm while they're in flight from Jamaica to New York. When they land, they find out that they've been missing for 5.5 years. Okay.
Yep.
That's kind of the premise of
Presumed dead.
Presumed dead, because it's been 5 years. I never found the record. It's like MH370.
Right.
It's totally that story, but the plane came back 5 years later. So, I've only watched the first season. As the season progresses, several people that were on that flight, who were presumed dead and came back, start having visions, hearing voices, getting commands from themselves, right? Their own voice to do things. And the family in question, the 4 people, involved here are kind of driving the plot forward, that they've decided that these premonitions, which is what they are, premonitions, are tasks that they must complete. You know, they're being called. So they refer to these things, and this is the funny part. They refer to these things as the calling.
Yeah.
So when you'll have a scene where the one character who's a police officer, she gets a vision in her head and she'll just stop and like stare into space, and then someone next to her who knows about it go, "Did you just have a calling?"
Yes.
So they do everything they can. This is what's bothering me about it. They're doing everything they can to call it supernatural, ESP, clairvoyance, premonition, psychic, whatever. Anything that's not scientific. You know, they're just they've kind of roped it into this corner that they've labeled, and I can't figure out why yet. My gut tells me it's copyright thing. They don't want, you know, nobody can steal this idea and call it the calling, you know. But if they had and there used to be a TV show called Premonition.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just trying to avoid that language to stay away from that type of thing. I don't know. I don't get it. I think it's cringy. I even tweeted about it tonight, about how cringy it is. You know, I want to know how hard the actors have to cringe when they have to say the calling.
Oh, is that the show that I called Delusioning?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I totally do not know what the show is.
Poor Nish.
It's available to you if you know where to look.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. Well,
So-
I don't want to waste my time.
It's not horrible. That's the thing, is like they hook you in and you want to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, you want to know what's going to happen.
Because at first it was individual people. Well, I guess that's not really true. At first, people who were close to each other were getting the same messages.
Okay, but why isn't the professor getting them?
The professor.
The lady that came up with it, with all the tech that they're using,
I don't know.
that was a
She's-
theory.
She's dead. She died already. She might have
No, when did she die?
in the plane crash. Oh, you must not have seen that yet.
No, I don't think I
Lord.
The
did.
crazy captain who wanted to prove
Spoiler.
himself right.
Oh yeah. No, I
Jerry,
haven't
you
seen
got all
that.
kinds of spoiling going on.
I don't give a shit. It's a 3-year-old show.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
And I'm not spoiling anything. It's like all very predictable.
It's already bad cheese.
It's poorly written. And the melodrama. Oh, and it had this other thing. This is another thing I really hate in TV today. This reveal after several episodes that someone lied to someone or lied by omission to someone to quote unquote protect them.
Oh, what a
Yes.
lame ass.
I know,
trope.
it's
Oh,
like,
my
oh my
God.
God.
I hate that.
Quit.
And yet it's classic.
I know. Quit letting these people write your shows, people. Anyway, that's all I got. It's 11 o'clock.
Stop writing pretend people and start writing real people. It'll get better.
I'm not dissing the show. I mean, it's so far it's been interesting. Check it out if you can. There was another show I saw too that was really good. Oh, if you haven't seen Debris on NBC, that's a really interesting show. If you like Fringe or X-Files, it's kind of in that vein.
There have been a few shows I've enjoyed recently. I can't, of course, at the top. They go in and out unless they really stick. But there have been a few that seemed really good. I super enjoyed that slow, like a mini series called, I think it's called, oh Lord, The Sisterhood or something.
Oh,
It's a
Coven of
Spanish-
Sisters or something like that.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed that. I think that was excellent personally.
There's some interesting stuff out there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of horrible shit out there too. It's
Oh god.
that's
Yeah.
more the majority. But anyway, it's been great talking to you guys tonight. Thanks so much for coming on and
Yeah,
having a
Thank you
chat.
for having me.
It was really nice to hang out with you guys tonight. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
It's great. We owed you a
having me
Zoom,
here.
Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you showed up, Adam. And let's do this again. I like this format. We're really
Yeah, we'll
finding
do it
our
next month.
shoes.
This is nice.
We'll do the May update. See how much crazier shit has gotten in the last
And
month.
we'll start it, with, oh my God, it is another month gone by.
I really think we should start charting the craziness somehow. We need to come up with a
Agreed.
model for that.
Yeah,
I think we definitely have to do the soundboard thing because this is definitely more our sitcom of the month show.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
have a
Yes.
mixer.
Yeah, we need canned laughter.
Yes.
for sure.
All right.
That'd be
So thanks,
great.
everyone. Thank you, guys. It's been great. Thanks,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for listening. We will be back in 2 weeks. I'm going to be out of town next week, so we are off. And I don't know who. We haven't booked anyone yet, so we'll see who's on. So have a great night. Enjoy your week and weekend, and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.